But first, look, maybe I'm too optimistic, but maybe there is finally now a revolution against the new bullies, a revolution now joined by a Labor frontbencher, Clare O'Neil, in a brave appeal to Labor, be more tolerant, and even joined by former US Democrat President Barack Obama. I'll get to what they've said in a minute, but as you know, I and fellow Conservatives have warned for years against the new totalitarians who cannot stand free speech, the people who scream down other people or pass more and more laws to stop you from speaking your mind. On the streets just today, again, we saw little totalitarians trying to shut down the Melbourne Mining Conference, screaming abuse at anyone outside who looked like a miner or, let's be honest, just looked like they've got a job.
Shame! Shame on you!
Line your hands!
How do you live with yourself, Scott?
I think, too, of the new identity politics, the way that's being used to cynically shut down debate, stop debates that people don't like. Here's an example from just overnight. A British Labor MP playing the gender card against the co-leader of the Greens, of all people.
Because Jonathan's got a vision, which I agree with, but in order to pay for that, we need the money, and to get the money in, we need to stop Brexit.
1% or 2% of GDP isn't going to make a difference.
Let Maria speak. Let Maria speak. Stop mansplaining.
Climate change is, you know...
Well, if you are describing Jeremy Corbyn as business as usual, then you haven't been reading the newspapers or watching the television. He was green before the Greens existed. He rode a bike. He's got an allotment. He will do both. He will bring social justice and a green revolution. So have the vision on the Greens, but vote Labor if you really want it to happen.
It's got to be more than an allotment, and let's just look at the facts. In 2017,
John,
there was 40...
Stop mansplaining? This is the first day of the election.
And don't forget the race politics also being used to shut down people and even shut down tourism spots now. Take this highly experienced climbing instructor, Tori Dunn. She's just been banned by Parks Victoria from teaching in the Grampians. And why? Because Aboriginal elders didn't like her criticising the very sudden and even mysterious decision to ban climbing in parts of the Grampians, allegedly to protect Aboriginal heritage. Now, until now, this culture of intolerance hasn't really been a big issue for the left at all, because most of the targets have been Conservatives or Libertarians or right-wingers. For instance, the new totalitarians try to stop people from listening to speakers like Libertarian provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos, and visiting Dutch political leader Geert Wilders as anti-immigration. And they've staged noisy walkouts of speakers who dared to criticise their identity politics. And it's so deep in our culture now, this left shutting down debate, that our ABC, our national broadcaster, has got not one Conservative presenter on a single one of its main current affairs shows, and now publicly declares it doesn't want any either.
Certainly hadn't thought that Andrew Bolt would be a great fit for the ABC. If he applies for a job, we'll consider him like we do with everybody else.
But slowly, 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 some more thoughtful people on the left also recognise that this intolerance is anti-intellectual. It's a brainless revolt against debate that threatens them too. Today, Labor frontbencher Clare O'Neil, she's giving a speech urging Labor to push back against political correctness. She reckons it helped cost Labor the last election, and even Labor voters, she said, were coming up to her during the last election complaining to her that so-called progressives, actually the new regressives, were talking down to them. She said there is a culture developing in the progressive movement where membership is granted with a box of ideas, and if you don't accept one of the ideas in the box, you do not merely have a different opinion, you are obviously stupid and possibly subhuman. And not everyone with a concern about the immigration rate, she says, is a bigot. Not everyone with a hesitation about changing gender roles is sexist. And she's right. Even Barack Obama has now had enough of this intolerance, this intellectually lazy habit of seeing opponents not just as wrong but as evil, and then returning their arguments simply with abuse.
The world is messy. There are ambiguities. Yep. People who do really good stuff have flaws. there is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people. And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, or then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself because, man, you see how woke I was? I called you out.
How often we've said that here. But more and more you're now hearing of people who've also had enough, and surprising people. I mean, Martin Parkinson, he was the first head of the Department of Climate Change under the Labor government and later Treasury Secretary. Yet now, as the new Vice-Chancellor of Macquarie University, he says, yes, even universities now, universities are symptomatic of a problem that we have in the broader community, where we are losing the capacity of civilised discourse and debate. Some people, he says, are not coming at issues prepared to concede that another person might have a view worth listening to. And he is right, because universities, as we have seen, have also been too quick to shut down debates. For instance, refusing grants from the Ramsay Foundation to teach Western civilization, or sacking a professor, Peter Ridd, who criticised scaremongering by global warming academics. As I say, maybe I'm too optimistic. Maybe it's been too good a sunny day in Melbourne. Maybe I'm too happy to hear that it's raining at Longreach. But maybe there is actually a new revolution against these bullies, these sanctimonious, finger-wagging enemies of free speech. If so, hope you join it.